Hey friends, it's Sandra. Today we wanted to share with you guys our favorite bread recipe. It is so yummy and tasty and turns out so well every single time. The first thing that we have to do is grind some flour.
This is the Wonder Mill Junior, about 260 bucks on Amazon, and it's free shipping, so pretty low investment, and it does work. I just shove the table to the side, so there's room for me, and it's really not hard. Anybody can do it.
So easy, even a 6-year-old can do it.
But anyways, it grinds at that rate there.
Okay, so what I have here is I have 2 1/4 cup whey. I made cheese the other day and I saved the whey and I tried it for our bread and it was fantastic. This is, I think, the 4th loaf that I've done and I'm never going to change it again. So, at least for now. I mean, you can't say never again because things do change. And I have 2 tablespoons of butter and I'm going to place it on the cook stove and let it warm up. So it's about lukewarm. Okay, while Michael is finishing grinding the flour, I'm going to go ahead and get my yeast proofing. I wanted to tell you guys that you can use water or you can use milk in substitute of whey, but whey just makes the flavor really yummy. So what I have here is I have a tablespoon of yeast and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Remember, there is 2 1/4 cup whey and 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to sprinkle that on and let it sit. Okay, my yeast is activated. You guys can see it's all bubbly and wonderful. So now I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt. We use pink Himalayan salt. And then I'm just going to start adding my flour. This is the flour that Michael has ground for me so far. I'm going to use about 2.5 cups of our ground flour. We bought the berries for these on Azure Standard. We love that company. They're all organic, non-GMO. A lot of the things that you can buy some non-organic, but that's what we did. We bought soft white wheat berries, and I'm just going to start adding it into my whey and yeast mixture. So it's about 2.5 cups of our pre-ground flour, or our ground flour. I'm going to mix this up and then I'm going to add in our bread flour. So I do have to say, typically I use my KitchenAid, but for showing you guys purposes, I'm going to use my hands today. And this is, the amount of flour that you use is truly dependent on the weather and your humidity level. Sometimes I have to add 5 cups of flour, sometimes I have to add 6 to 7. I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of flour onto my working surface and I'm going to dump my bread onto it. So it's still pretty sticky and it needs some more flour, but I highly doubt that it's going to use all that flour. So for this part, all I'm going to do is fold it over on itself until it's not sticky anymore, and then I can really start using my hands. And if you start to get little sticky spots, just put a little more flour on it. Okay, my bread is all kneaded and it's ready to proof the first time. You know that your bread is done kneading when you can push on it and it springs back up. So I'm going to just put it in a bowl and I'm going to set it over by the cook stove and let this proof the first time. I'm gonna punch it down and then I'll show you guys the next step. Okay, so I have my bread rising on the cook stove. It'll probably take, I don't know, 15 minutes or so on there. It doesn't take very long next to the cook stove because it's nice and warm. And then I'm gonna stick it in my bread baking pan and let it rise up again, and I'll put it in the oven. Okay, you guys can already see it's risen up quite a bit, not quite doubled in size, but we're getting close. And it's been about 5 minutes. Love proofing my stuff on the cook stove. Okay, my bread is done rising up. I'm going to just punch it down and then I'm going to shape it. And I'm gonna shape it to fit into my loaf pan. So I basically just elongate it and I'm going to put it in here and I'm gonna let it proof again. Okay, my bread is ready to go in the oven. It looks amazing. I've got my oven preheated. It stays about 200 degrees and that is perfect. It's hotter than that, but that's where I like to keep it. These gauges are never truly accurate. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you guys give this recipe a try, don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys thought about it. I'll leave the recipe in the description and we will catch you guys for our next one. Blessings and happy homesteading. Bye.